routines, self-care, journaling, self-development, positive mindset, balanced living. We all hear that when it comes to that girl habits. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm all in for you trying all of these habits, routines, systems, all of these things. But if you lack keeping a routine, structure, or really just staying consistent with those habits, I have alternatives if those don't work for you. I'm going to tell you a few of the things when I'm just feeling off or just don't feel in the mood to have that much structure, what I do to alter my meditating, journaling, self-care, reading, all of the above, because it is important that you are showing up as your best self. And for the typical that girl, yes, it might work for them, but we are not all that girl. It's really important that instead of stressing about your routine systems and really straining your day-to-day life, that you enjoy the little things, that you still do it with intention, and choosing these alternatives are still going to get the same impact and same outcome as those habits. But it's important that you don't give up on yourself. No, it may not be you, and that it is important that you are believing in the process. You are building the life of your dreams and blooming and growing along the way, one step at a time, and making these alters and these changes could be the way to become your best self. So welcome back to Balance While Blooming. My name is Bridget. I'm 26 years old. I am a wife. I am a stepmom. I work a full 9 to 5, and I am very multi-passionate, and I like to share my ways that I am building my life of my dreams. I'm blooming daily and becoming the person of my dreams, all while balancing one day at a time. Now that sounds like craziness, but honestly, check out my Instagram, follow me on YouTube. We share positivity, mindset, productivity, and so much more. And this video right here is all about how you can alter those girl habits, things that you see all over the internet, to still be intentional, still show up and get the same sort of outcome, but really find the balance within your daily life to show up for yourself. So let's jump right into these habits. First things first is meditating. Meditating is something where you are relaxing, that you really get into it, and that you are sitting with yourself with some time, breathing, understanding where your mind's supposed to go. But if you have a hard time getting relaxed or as calming of your brain, or you just feel bored, or you feel like it's a waste of time, trust me, I've been there. There's days that I'm like that, and that's why I fall off track with meditating sometimes, because I'm so absorbed with trying to think about my breathing, trying to think about myself relaxing, that I'm actually not relaxing. I'm stressing myself out more. So what I want you to do is try something that will also turn off your brain, get away from technology, get away from social media, and focus on something that is for you. Finding something that it will occupy yourself and focus and let your brain just wander into its imaginary. We don't give ourselves enough time with not only ourselves, but our imagination to grow. Some activities that you can do instead are drawing, painting, coloring, puzzles. You can either do some stretching where you really need to focus on your breathing, or mindful walking. This is not walking with music, not with a podcast, nothing. I just want you to walk, enjoy the scenery, hear the noises, and just relax. It's really important that you're being intentional with where you're at right now in this meditating state. I really recommend doing something that disconnects you from anything and everything, and taking a step back from where you are to show up and just reconnect with yourself and let your brain think about whatever and everything that it needs to, and start finding this meditating state within other activities that are just calming, relaxing, and let you get really creative and just zen. Next is reading self-help books only. Now, I am a reading girly. I have 50 to 60 books that I read in a year. But yes, we can get good things out of self-help, but it's important that you are not just consuming self-help. It's really important that you understand what you're reading. Do you need that in your life to make alters, make shifts? And then, are you changing everything because a book tells you? Remember, we are all different, we are all human, and it may happen later in life, but I really want you to lose sight of everything's wrong with you and just enjoy reading. Reading is so fun. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I do still read my self-help books. I'm in the middle of one right now, and that is teaching me principles of successful people. I want that for my business. I want those skills. I want those habits, but I also want the pleasure. I want to take a step back and really only have like a tenth of my books throughout the year being self-help with intention. Now, you need to read self-help books when you need to change something or you want something in life as a skill or something that you can actually touch and bring into a different area of your life. It is really important that you are not just reading books that are recommended, but what you can do instead is really figuring out what you like for pleasure. Do you like thriller? Do you like fantasy? Do you like romance? Do you like biographies? What type of books just draw you in to still stay away from social media, still take that step back for leisure and time for yourself? And it's not always for you to criticize yourself or learn. Sometimes reading should just be for pleasure and to let your mind escape. And really, when you're looking at those self-help books, you are realistically trying to fix something. You're trying to figure something out, learn something, or take it and apply it to your life. And it's not great to be doing that all the time, every day or every month when you finish a book. Just read it when you need it, or read it because it has an intention for something bigger. Don't absorb self-help books when you really don't have the problem, or you're gonna say, oh my God, do I have that problem? Let me try it. And then your whole life is shifted and uplifted every single month to follow a book that you may not even need it to change. Continue reading. It's really good for you. It's really good for you to kind of step into a different world and just escape reality. So I really challenge you to read for pleasure. No screen time in the morning and night. I'm terrible at this. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to put it in my night routine and my morning routine that I just don't touch my phone. But honestly, it started rushing my morning routine or completely skipping my intentions, or I started just not getting ready for bed because I wanted my screen time and then I'd just pass out. So instead of no screen time, I think of intentional screen time where I set parameters on what I do. Get creative with not only your settings, what apps you use in the morning and at night, what you decide to scroll. Now, for me, I decide to not scroll until at least an hour after I have woken up. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't play games on my phone, that I can't do Pinterest or other social medias that don't consume me or make me negative. I don't like comparing myself. I really try to do my motivation, my inspiration, my creativity in one section, because then that separates me from what I see day to day. Now, no screen time works for some people, but for me, that's what I decide to do. I decide to just relax, turn down my brightness. I make sure that I am intentional with how much time before bed or how quickly I get on my phone, but I'm not feeling stressed, I'm not feeling anxious, and I'm not feeling like I'm comparing myself to other people because I'm not scrolling on social media. So be intentional if you're going to use your phone in the morning and at night of what you're doing. But I really recommend maybe reading something or having an app where you can take time for yourself or creativity or something that just gets your mind off of the day-to-day life that you're about to walk into, but still calming your mind, waking up and feeling that positivity by yourself. Talking about positivity is all about affirmations and positive statements. Now, I understand where this can be too much and not work for people. They're either overstated, they're losing the meaning behind the affirmations, or they're really just doing it without intention. Now, that could be you. I'm not saying that that's what happens for you, but I honestly want you, instead of maybe standing in front of a mirror and saying your affirmations, which I really do believe can build confidence, belief in yourself, and so much more, but having quotes, thoughts, sayings that are just around you on your wallpaper of your phone. They're in your room, they're in your bathroom, stickies, posters, pictures, whatever it may be, and know what sayings mean to you. Know why you're saying them, why you enjoy looking at them, and why they make you smile or feel good about yourself. Understand what you're saying. You may only have one or two that you say to yourself to help you in this time in your life. It's not necessary to sit there for 20 minutes and speak your affirmations. I get that. But you need the positivity. You need the affirmations that you are good enough, that you are capable, that you are this person of your dreams and who you are becoming. And others don't need to understand what your affirmations mean. They may think you're the craziest person, what you're saying to yourself is crazy, but as long as it's important to you and it's intentional, it will help on your growth journey. And that's what matters when it comes to this habit, is speaking to yourself with intention and meaning, seeing positivity, surrounding yourself with what you want to see and what you want to say and how you are being portrayed by yourself and where you want to go. Just like affirmations, I feel like journaling can be very overwhelming to people. It can be structured. And what I want you to do is figuring out a journal method that works for you. There's gratitude journals, there's 5-minute journals, there's prompts on the internet, there's just really free writing, figuring out what works for you. It does not need to be structured. It does not need to be daily. And you can find a format that works for you. Be creative and find a purpose. But you need to let out what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and your emotions and your thoughts and your insecurities. All these things need to be released. And if journaling's not for you, therapy may be another option for you. I'm not going to get into that here. But you need to release how you're feeling, how you are acting, how you are showing up for yourself, because it's really important that you let it out instead of holding it in. And I think journaling can be through written content, drawing content, speech. You can voice memo it as your journal, just releasing it and understanding that you are letting out who you were to become your best self. It's important that you aren't holding it in, but you're also letting it go in a positive form. Of course, as I said, therapy is a whole nother option, but if you do want to journal in some way, shape, or form, figure out the format for you, figure out how you are going to express your feelings and thoughts, and how you're going to get those done is all up to you, and it does not need to be as structured as people make it seem. Talking about all of this comes together with morning routines. I know that that is a big that girl habit, and I hate morning routines. I hate night routines. I hate routines in general. So what I've done is set intentions and systems, not routines. It's just too rigid, too structured, and I just don't know how I'm going to feel every day. And I don't want this long laundry list of stuff I want to do. And if I want to slump a little, I want to slump a little. But having options and knowing what I must do and what I have to do and what things just kind of filter in is so important. And I want to give you an example of this. So one day I may wake up and I want to slump in my bed. Okay, great. What do I need to do next? I need to get ready for the gym. So I have my clothes set out the night before. I preset things up throughout to make my morning routine easier. And that's the systems I create for myself to have a simpler morning routine, to have the options. Now, another thing is my must-dos. I must get ready for work. I must shower. And there are certain days that I must go to the gym just because I've set that in my calendar. Those things are must-dos, but how I show up for each of those is important. Having options of what I wear, how I'm going to wear it, and what I feel good in is important. How I show up. Am I going to stretch? Am I going to lift? Am I going to do cardio? Am I going to go to the gym, or am I going to do an at-home workout? Figuring it out, as much as working out is on my calendar and in my morning routine, how am I going to show up? And the order that I do it is not important. It does not matter. When do I do my skincare? When do I get dressed? Do I want to put my PJs back on while I do all my morning routine after my shower? Sure. It doesn't matter as long as you are showing up with intention, that you get the things that you must do done, and that you have options so that you do not quit on yourself. Stop being so rigid with your morning routine. If that doesn't work for you, find a system that does. If that doesn't work for you, give yourself a menu. Check off 5 things on the menu today. Whatever it may be, find out what works for you and alter it, because It is important that you are showing up, having systems for success, but don't be too hard on yourself and don't make it that it's this every single day in this order, because someone like me, I will just not do it and I will quit. But I know my intentions, I know what I need to do, and I do them, and anything else is extra, and I'm proud of myself. I would love to be more relaxed and have more structure, but unfortunately, that doesn't work for me. Lastly is self-care. It is so important that you know what works for you and you're not just following the trends. I used to have a 12-step skincare routine where I felt like I had to do it every single day. I used to try to walk daily, do my cardio on top of everything else I had going on, and trying to fit in podcasts, information, self-help books every single day, because that was what was good for my mindset, for me to feel inspired to show up for myself and knowing that I am pouring into my cup. Now, let me tell you, pouring into your cup is what is going to make you feel fulfilled, for you to show up as your best self and really just become that person of your dreams. Now, it is important that you alter what's going to work for you. For me, I do 3 to 5 step skincare routine. It works for me. It works for my skin. It makes me happy. It's simple, easy. I do weekend walks because I go to the gym 5 days a week. I try to do at least one walk a weekend, and we do it as a family. It brings us together. And then I have leisure listens. There's times where if I want the inspiration, I want that happiness, I want to hear from someone that I feel inspired by, I will listen to them. I will listen to their podcasts. I will hear their information. But sometimes I want a leisure fun podcast. I want leisure music. I want to just dance around. I want to have a good time. It fills my cup for my happiness. I'm still working on my positivity. I'm still working on making sure that I'm fulfilled first before I can pour into someone else, and making sure that I am doing what works for me and not trying to fit in a box. I'm really saying all this for you to start showing up for yourself. What self-care habits, routines, systems, actions work for you to feel happy, feel fulfilled, and really show up as that person of your dreams. Now, that being said, all of these habits are for you to try. I hope you've tried them. They may work for you, but I also want you to know that it is okay if they don't work for you, that if you feel like you need to quit on yourself, you can. It is not quitting, it is altering, resetting, refocusing, and realigning what works for you and the person you want to be. Now, yes, that girl is something all over the internet. It is a trend. You don't even need to try it, but I do challenge you that these will help you towards success, to fulfillment, to positivity, to happiness, because you are doing things that are intentional that most people that are successful do one way or another. Now, yes, they do share a lot of these in a broad spectrum. I bet you that they're not all doing it exactly how they say every single day. Now, there are people who are like that, and good for them, but I want you to find that balance. What works for you, what doesn't, when you have a busy day, what you can do instead, and really just when you're feeling off, instead of quitting on yourself, that you show up for your best self. So as always, you are building this person, your dream self. We are just altering them a little to have the same intention and same mindset. But it's also important that you are showing up, believing in yourself, that you are building that person with that bigger motive of being that girl, being that person who is successful, that is happy, that is living their life, but also finding balance. Balancing your day-to-day life is difficult. I get it. I do it every single day, and I'm here to help you with your mindset, with your productivity, with so much more here and over on Instagram, as this community is a place for you to bloom and grow. And I want you to let me know which that girl habit doesn't work for you, and if you are going to try any of these by just realigning them and resetting them in a different direction. And as always, find that balance, keep blooming, and become that person of your dreams one day at a time. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.